Now, in other news, South Korea's police chief has admitted his force failed Halloween revelers in central Seoul on Saturday and hadn't responded adequately to multiple phone calls warning of a potential accident. Yoon Hee-keun said that he felt a heavy responsibility for the tragedy in which 156 people are now known to have died. This is a little of what he had to say.
사고가 발생하기 직전에
We found out that there were lots of emergency calls before the accident about the seriousness of the place.
신고 내용을 보면
The calls were about emergencies telling the danger and urgency of the situation that a large crowd had gathered before the accident occurred. However, we think the police response on the scene to these emergency calls was inadequate.
미흡했다는 판단을 했습니다.
Well, our correspondent Nick Marsh is in Itaewon, the district in Seoul where the tragedy took place.
This alleyway has been left practically untouched since Saturday night. Less than 3 days ago, it was packed full of young people enjoying a Halloween Saturday night out. A few hours later, more than 150 of them would lose their lives. And today, we heard the first apologies from the authorities. The chief of police here in South Korea says he bears a heavy responsibility for that tragic loss of life. And a picture now of profound police failure is beginning to emerge. Why weren't there enough police officers deployed? And those police officers who were here clearly weren't engaging in any crowd control. Nobody was telling people not to go down this narrow alleyway here just on the right, where most of the people would lose their lives on Saturday. I actually spoke to an Irish student called Patrick, originally from Dublin. He's here studying for a semester, and he said the crowds were dangerously packed on Saturday night.
It was like this for hours. This hill is tiny, this street is tiny. Anybody looking at it should have seen that this was an accident waiting to happen. It's just, it really felt like it was so preventable that this shouldn't have happened.
One of the most shocking details confirmed to the BBC today is that the emergency services actually received calls warning of dangerous overcrowding several hours before the fatal crash occurred. But it's not just the police who are under scrutiny. We've seen planning documents by the local council in preparation for this Halloween Saturday night out, and they make no reference to crowd control at all. They talk about garbage collection, about COVID and social distancing, but none to crowd control.